Jim Ranson takes the base car off the track. He should get the green right now. Doesn't look like a repeat of last year's start. No, it's a good one. And here they come. Bobby Unser going for the lead. Johnny Rutherford right alongside him. Rutherford down low, but Bobby with a terrible crash for the home stretch. There are several cars involved. We can't see the numbers, but it's been a bad crash from the start. It was in the middle of the field somewhere. Terrible thing. Explosion. This is what everyone has feared. This is why there's been such a terrible atmosphere of fear here all weekend long. A shame there's the driver waving. He might be on fire, that man, the way he was waving. You can't see an alcohol fire. Those explosions are not cars. Those are the bombs overhead that are normally set off during the start of the race. There is a report already that there may be spectators hurt, not confirmed. The wire fence right here on the straightaway was ripped apart. It was very fortunate that a car did not come into the crowd, because one of the standards holding up the wire screen has also been broken in half. Right here at the most crowded part of the grandstand, we almost had an automobile go into the crowd. And it appears definitely that there are spectators injured, but here's a replay of what happened here. He was back in the 6th or 7th row of this car. Conjecture that it might have been Salt Walter, but watch, there's a car going, starting to the right. Right there, and look at this. The incredible explosion, fuel spraying out over the spectators in the first few rows. That could mean real trouble. Another explosion, and like a pinwheel or a garden sprinkler, all the fuel is being sprayed out of the car. That could be a good thing for the driver if he has survived this crash. Car upside down, coming to a rest. Another view of this from a head-on camera. And again, you will see how the cables inside this screen are the only thing to stop this car from flying into the crowd. There, watch now, the screen itself is completely destroyed. The cables flinging him back out on the race course upside down, and again that fuel spraying on the crowd. That's a matter of great concern. And here, that pinwheel effect. The alcohol-based fuel spinning out of the car upside down. Another car, Lee Koonsman, I believe, number 16, barely missing the crash. It's Salt Walter who is under the car. Terrible, terrible accident on the start at Indianapolis. Only 7 seconds after the start of the race.
Of course, since that time in 1973, the Speedway constantly works on safety, and it is one of the safest tracks in the world, without question, especially considering the incredible speeds that they run here. Out with a qualification attempt now, a rookie, looking for his first time in the 500, but a very familiar name. This is John Andretti. He is the nephew of Mario Andretti. His first lap came through at 207.8 miles an hour. We're live at Indianapolis as we watch a very exciting first day of time trials. The pole has swapped hands 3 different times now, and John Andretti, as a rookie, tries to make it into this field. There are different victories here today. For the veterans, it is getting into the pole position. For some of the rookies, it's simply getting into the Indianapolis 500. His second lap for John Andretti at 207.4 miles an hour. He's averaging 207.6. Let's go to the pits now, Brian.
Paul, Danny Sullivan just told me he just drove the 4 hardest laps he's ever driven here at Indianapolis. It paid off, pal. You on the pole?
Well, I am for right now. Of course, I got a very fast teammate that back there, and Rick's awful good around here, and I think I've stood in this position before when he bumped me off the pole. But for me, that was about the 4 hardest laps I've ever driven here. Not that it was just the car was too loose, the track was too slippery, and that's why I backed off the last 2 laps. I was just sliding it way too much out of turn 2 and out of turn 3 and 4, and I thought I don't want to give away what I had gotten on the first 2 laps.
You talk about your teammate. Do you expect Rick Mears to knock you off the pole, or are the conditions going away?
No, I think his car's still good enough, and Rick's still good enough to put a consistent run together, but stranger things have happened. I'm just hoping we're all up there. I hope he gets a good, clean run, and then if he's quicker, so be it. You know, it'd be kind of a change. He's been really quickest all month.
All right, Danny Sullivan right now on the pole. Paul?
Well, we're watching John Andretti, and you saw it because it looked like the engine went away as they were running on their 4th lap of qualification. So John Andretti's run for the moment is over 3 times this month. Before today, he blew engines. This looks like the 4th one of the month. Now let's go down to the pits. Rick Mears continues to watch this qualifying.
Well, and Rick Mears is going to come up pretty shortly for you. There's only about 3 cars in front of you, but the Penske team has got 2 cars in the front row, and now it's all up to you. And many people consider you the #1 driver on the team. 222 this morning. Feeling the pressure?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You always feel the pressure at this place, but you know, hopefully we're just going to go out there and try to get 4 smooth laps in, and just see where it puts us.
You've always said that you can feel the difference between 1/10 of a second or so inside the race car.
Oh yes, you can. You know, once you get comfortable and acclimated to the car, you can tell if it's a good one or a bad one. I know this morning when I ran that 22, Roger came on the radio and says, "All right, good, a 221," and said, "Bring it in." And I radioed back to him and said, "You know, I thought that felt better than a 221." So pretty soon he comes back on and says, "You're right, 222." So we were that close. And so when it gets to that limit, you can actually tell.
Well, he hopes that he can tell even more so today when he takes 10 miles around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Paul.
And if he can sit on the pole, he'll add it to his pole position from 82 and 86 and be a 3-time winner of the pole at Indianapolis. There's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame Museum. Some magnificent racing cars in there, many of the former 500 winners. As we continue live from time trials at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A number of key drivers still to qualify here. One coming up in just a moment is Rick Mears. We'll be back with more live from Indianapolis. We're back live at Indianapolis. We couldn't have asked for a better, safer day or more action than we're seeing. 21 cars have been presented, 20 tried to qualify, and 12 have made it into the 500 field. And look at that field average, 210.892 miles an hour. It has been a very, very safe month of May. We ask a series of drivers, why has it been so safe this May?
Oh, I think maybe the tires are a little bit better, a little better grip. Maybe people are using their heads a little bit more. Maybe the cars are a little better.
I think basically it's got to be someplace in the Goodyear tires. I don't think there was a problem last year in so much as the tire, but I think the combination of the tire and a certain chassis was a problem. Well, I think so far one of the main reasons are the conditions have been so good. You know, even though we've had wind blowing, we've had rain, and we've had cool weather, we haven't had the real high temperatures, which makes the track very slippery. And we've had good conditions, crisp, what we call crisp conditions. The track has a lot of grip.
The engineers, you know, learned some things, both for the chassis and for the tire construction. So those things, I think, have led to better situations for the driver, more predictable situations for the drivers.
The teams understand the radio tires now. Last year, I don't think anybody understood them except the guys that tested with them, and they didn't have much of a problem. But I think it's just a matter of understanding the tires and understanding your car. And now they understand it all, and things have been easier this year towards that.
So the drivers feel that this has been a very safe month and will, in fact, hopefully continue to be so. The qualifiers thus far, Danny Sullivan now has the provisional pole as we are watching Phil Kruger roll out, ready to warm up for his qualification run. The second row, Brayton, Daly, Michael Andretti. The third row, Randy Lewis, Roberto Guerrero, Kevin Kogan. And in the fourth row now is Tom Sneva, Teo Fabi, and Scott Atkinson. Indianapolis, it's the time trials, the first day of qualifications. This is the run for the pole, but on Sunday, May 29th, ABC Sports will present the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500. We'll be back. We're back live at the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Paul Page with Bobby Unser, Jack Arute, and Brian Hammonds. The car number is 97. The driver is Phil Kruger, one of the nicest young men that you'll ever meet in motorsport. Not only is he a competent driver, he is a very skillful mechanic. He now tries to qualify a car that was built in 1986. It is a March. It's powered by a Cosworth. It is a team, Bobby Unser, that does not have the great financial support of some of the operations here.
They certainly don't, Paul, but it is an older car. But Phil, being a mechanic driver, is dedicated and a hard worker. I think that in a sentimental way, I hope he makes it.
Now, Phil Kruger has not had a lot of time on the track. In fact, he passed up almost the entire week. His first practice in this car came yesterday and he took it up to a pretty respectable speed at 212.014 miles an hour. He's just completed his first lap in a qualification attempt at 207.3 miles an hour.
I think this car will also answer, Paul, about what has gained the big speeds for us this year. I think